You ever feel like life's whispering, "It's time"? That's the whisper I followed. From the city lights of Atlanta to the soul-stretching skies of Auckland, welcome to Being, the podcast where bold moves meet deep truths. I'm Shay Love, and each week I'm sharing the messy, the magical, and meaningful moments that come with starting over and stepping fully into who you are. What if you couldn't see the way forward, but still had to trust in what was unfolding, step by step? What if your next move didn't come with guarantees, just a whisper, a nudge, and the courage to keep walking? In this episode, I'm sharing what it truly means to walk by faith and not by sight, through a moment on an Atlanta street that revealed how trust, surrender, and divine guidance can show up when you least expect it. Because sometimes the clearest direction doesn't come from what's in front of you, but from what's rising within you. One weekday before I left Atlanta for Auckland, I was headed to an event at City Hall in downtown Atlanta, which was doing what downtown Atlanta does: hectic parking, crowds, that steady buzz of movement. And a friend offered to drive me, thankfully, so I didn't have to deal with the chaos. We pulled up, I hopped out of the car, and that's when I saw her. A woman standing in the middle of the street, white cane in hand. She was blind, alone, and clearly trying to navigate her way across a busy intersection. And y'all, I just want to say, this was the middle of the day, right in front of City Hall, dozens of people walking by, and yet somehow no one saw her. But I did. I walked over, introduced myself, and asked if I could escort her to the sidewalk. She smiled and said yes. And as we made our way across, I noticed her shoe was untied. I asked if I could tie it for her, and she said, "No, thank you. I can tie my shoe myself." And I respected that. Her tone was gentle but firm. That small exchange told me everything I needed to know. She may have needed a hand in the moment, but she was nobody's charity case. She was capable, independent, and very clear. We kept talking. I asked her where she was headed. She told me she was trying to get to a bus stop, headed back home to Little Five Points. Now, listen, I had absolutely no idea where the nearest bus stop was. But I saw a group of men standing nearby, so I asked if any of them could help. One man kindly pulled up the MART app on his phone and pointed us in the right direction. He said,
"The bus stop is just down the street and around the corner."
In the middle of all of this, I ran into a friend. There was a news crew filming nearby, and for a second, I was reminded of why I was there. I felt that tug. You're supposed to be somewhere. I was technically supposed to be at this event, but something in me said, this moment matters more. So I told myself, I'll be late. It's fine. It's okay. And I walked with her. She held onto my arm and we kept talking as we made our way down the sidewalk. I was just peppering her with different questions like, tell me about your day. Was someone coming to meet you? And that's when I noticed something powerful. She was no longer using her white cane. She had let go, fully. This woman, blind, in the middle of downtown Atlanta, had surrendered her navigation and was trusting me, a complete stranger, to guide her. And that realization made me pause. It also made me curious, so I asked her, "Do you usually navigate through the city on your own?" And she paused too, and very nonchalantly said, "Honey, I have faith. I am fearless. I know that God and little angels like you are going to help me and guide me along my way." Can I just say, I nearly lost it. I told her right then, you just said a whole entire word, because in that moment, she wasn't just talking about how she moves through the city. She was teaching me something bigger. She was living what it means to walk by faith, not by sight, literally. We got to what I thought was close to the bus stop, and I asked a nearby construction worker if he knew the stop for Little Five Points. He looked up and smiled and said,
"Oh, you're standing right under it. That's the stop. She just needs to take bus number 42.
I thanked him, and I told him I was running a little late for an event and asked if he'd be willing to help her board the bus and also to let the driver know where she was headed. And he said,
"Of course. I'll make sure she gets on, and I'll make sure the driver knows where she's going."
And right then, I realized what she meant. Little angels everywhere, guiding you. The man who pulled up the app, the construction worker who stepped in to guide, me, in the middle of a full day, slowing down long enough to walk her safely to the bus stop. It was divine choreography, faith in motion. As she stood there, casually enjoying her snack, fully unbothered and completely at peace, I said my goodbyes, wished her well, and started to walk away. And just then, the man who had helped us earlier honked from his car, smiled, and shouted from the window,
You found it.
Full circle moment. This woman didn't know me. She didn't know who was coming or what the journey would look like. But she knew one thing. She'd be guided. And that's what faith really is. Not seeing the full plan, not needing the directions in advance, but trusting that when you take a step, the next one will appear. And the right people will show up to walk with you. She reminded me of the very journey I was about to take, leaving Atlanta for Auckland to start a new life, moving to a place I'd never lived, without all the answers, just trusting the whisper. We all get our bus stop moments when you have to put down the guidance cane, release the plan, and let something bigger lead. When I arrived in New Zealand, I had so many of those bus stop moments. Times where I didn't have a plan, but help found me anyway. Like the kind hotel manager who sat with me for 30 minutes, patiently walking me through a city map and pointing out the neighborhoods that match my rhythm and lifestyle. Or the moment I raised my hand at a networking event, admitting to a room full of strangers that I had just arrived and was looking to build community. One woman raised her hand and said, "I'll help you." She invited me for a walk, and that walk turned into friendship and open doors. And then there was a woman, a new friend who offered to store all of my luggage while I traveled to Christchurch for several days. We laugh about it now. I thought it was bold to leave my things with a stranger, and she thought it was bold of me to trust her. That's the beauty of walking by faith. You're never really alone. There are little angels everywhere, nudging you, guiding you, showing up just when you need them. You may not see the whole path, but the path reveals itself as you walk. Faith doesn't require proof. It requires movement. Just move. You've been listening to Being from Atlanta to Auckland. I'm Shay Love, and if this episode made you feel seen, maybe it sparked something deep or reminded you that change is possible, go ahead and follow, subscribe, and send it to a friend. This journey is just starting. Keep stretching, keep rising, and always keep being.